Alright folks, I've been asked by a few people to do an update on silver because of the absolute monkey hammering that has been going on in a lot of the markets. And I had talked about this many months ago, many years ago. We talked about it, what I expect to see happen and why things are happening the way they are. Let me make sure that this still looks right here. Let me close this up a little bit more. Get me out of the way. So for those of you who are feeling the emotional beating that has taken place in many of the markets, the crypto markets, or specifically the precious metals markets, this thing has drug out a lot longer than I would have ever expected it to. However, from a technical standpoint, you've been given a gift. You've been given a massive gift, and your opportunity to collect something that is 100% absolutely required for any of our technology. Silver is the number 2 main resources used on the planet. Oil's number 1, silver's number 2. And for silver to be down here at this crazy low number, which is not true because you can't get it for that through any dealer, is a big indicator of how out of whack things are and how important silver is to the manipulators to keep it down for the system to stay in place. So since I've been inquired upon, we're going to do a technical analysis on the silver so that you know where we're at and the intensity of why it is so important and so psychologically important. So I've got the daily chart up here, and what you can see here is this is that March 2020 smash down when they had that big plunge in the markets. And then everything turned around and shot back up and silver took off, and then we went kind of sideways for a long time. I did a couple of videos here a few months back in this area right here because we were in technical completion of this particular structure. And I, as you, because we, those of you who have silver, are, as any human being would want with their assets to be valued. You know, we all want our stuff to be worth something, and that's why it's such a psychological game. I, as you, were thinking this could be the end of it, but I also knew that it was a very real real possibility because the control mechanisms are still very much in place, and as long as anything is in the hands of the controllers, well, of course there's going to be manipulated. There will be no free markets until those fake markets are done and over with. But what are the signs for that? Now, those of you who've been with me for the longest period of time in discussing this, I've always told you that silver will be the last to go. And I truly am in belief and agreement with Bix Weir on the likelihood that the price could get taken to zero, or like he says, no, I don't want to change that, could get taken to zero or minus 38 or whatever, you know, they did with oil. That could happen. And I have always expected that right before the markets break entirely, that something like that does happen. Now, a few weeks ago, I made mention that one of the guys that I know as a dealer had word from somebody who was working through a government agency, just like the one I'd gotten word on early in the year when before Bitcoin went up, that I was told by somebody in a supposedly three-letter agency that that when the markets start to crash, that they were going to take the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, they were going to take them down, and they did. You had time, you had plenty of time to lick your ice cream, and I've mentioned this. You had plenty of time to lick your ice cream in the cryptocurrencies. However, 50, 60, 70,000 Bitcoin, well, it's down to 20 now, and a lot of the other cryptos have been monkey hammered as well. Remember what I've told you over and over and over again, that this is a psychological game, and it is a power game for you to believe in what they want you to believe. So with everything going down right now, this is to affect your judgment of what you place value in. And we've talked about value a long time ago in many conversations, but value, most of value is what we human beings create. All right, shut up, please. Thank you. So, technically speaking, this formation from the top on the daily chart to where we're at now is a 5 wave. You can see it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a bottoming situation going on right now. It feels like it. So is this possibly the turning point? It could be. Now remember that back what I was going to say is the guy that that I got some information for about Bank of America, when Bank of America took over the short position from JP Morgan some time back, that they took over the majority of that at the $19 mark. And my guy told me that they said, and this was when we were climbing, we were up here in this area, so it was hard to know when that was going to happen, but he said that Bank of America is going to need a price down here at the, below $19, and at that point in time we had like a floor set right here, and I'm going, no, I don't know if that's going to happen. But of course they can with enough paper. And for those of you who have watched the volume, especially what Bixweir has discussed, the volume of paper contracts that have been used to push the price down, and from what we've heard with a few other analytics folks that are in the industry talking about, the short position has been shifted from the commercials, out of the commercials, into who? The people. So people who have the managed money, the retirement accounts, the 401ks, they're the ones holding the shorts now, by and large. Not 100%, but that's what's been going on the last week or two down here in this bottom here. So we're all looking for the end. We're feeling it. We could have this thing smashed even more. All they got to do is margin calls or dump paper. Those kinds of things are happening. But I want to take a minute and let's take a look at let's go to the monthly. The monthly will be easiest to see here. Chart here. So the last 4 months have been kind of ugly. Come on, bear with me. But let's zoom out here. Now on Netdania, I can't go further than back here to 90. I think it's 91 or 94, whatever that is right there. You won't let me take it back and show you the full cup and handle. But we're in the process of essentially completing a double cup and handle. So we have this huge cup from the 1980 high to the 2011 high, and then we have another cup which forms the handle, and that's completing now. Let me see who this is. Whoops. So as part of the problem that we have here, interesting. So let me finish this up real quick. So part of the problem we have here is time, the amount of time. Based on the world events that are going on, based on the things that are happening geopolitically and such, we're near the end. I don't think this is going to last too much longer, and I think they're playing this right to the very last second, which could be, essentially could be, in the next couple of weeks. I'm hearing there's a lot of stuff that's coming, but know this: humanity has always chosen silver for their store of labor. Thousands and thousands of years of this. Many of you remember, I don't care about money, I only use it to get the things that I want. So for those of you who can, now is more of a backup opportunity than you can ever imagine. Because let me zoom in here real quick and leave you with this. When I first started doing these charting videos, this compressing wedge right here, I talked a lot about it, and that it needed to, technically speaking, break up. But they didn't. They broke it down. In one of the last interviews I ever did with David Morgan, and he wanted to, call the bottom down here in this $14 range. We did, and he did, and he said that he thought it was a bottom, and it went sideways for a little bit. At that point in time, I told you to back up the truck. I said, you got some time here, back up the truck. So that was at this price point. We are now, for all intents and purposes, in the value of the dollar, a better purchasing price here. Even though the number's a little higher, your opportunity now, based on inflation and so on and so forth, to get silver now at whatever price you can will be the biggest opportunity of your life. When this thing goes, these things, it's going to be a rocket. And I truly believe in my heart the number that's going to be on it is going to blow the minds of even the best people who who have been following this. Those like me who have said, silver should be $2,000 an ounce right now, or $3,000 or $4,000 an ounce right now. I think that's what we're going to. But when silver goes, when it goes 15, 20,000, 40,000, 1-to-1 with gold, and gold is at 80 to 100,000, that kind of thing. Yeah. Problem is, as Mr. High has said, you're not going to like the world when it does that, because that's reality smacking home. So you need something of value in your hands for those things that you cannot, as I stated in my first video today, that you cannot produce and that you have to trade for, because money is what you trade. So therefore, try to see past this. Then grow a garden, feed yourself, get off the game board, and have a little bit of that, because in the end, and it's my belief from a spiritual standpoint, in the end, it's not going to matter. It is only going to be there for you to get the final things you need before things really get bad. When things really get bad, we will have a buying opportunity while people are still around and getting desperate. You need to use that to get the things you need to set yourself up to be essentially your own country on your little island in your own community while the world burns socially, when the anger phase of humanity goes ballistic. That's what we're talking about. So I hope this helps. Do what you can. Maybe humanity will get their shit together, and we will, bottom out at not quite a full-on blood red Mad Max scenario. I'd like not to see that myself, but I'm still not seeing enough people change for that to happen. Matter of fact, I'm seeing the control mechanism get stronger and stronger and stronger. So on that note, my friends, all our love to you, and get her done. Get your stuff taken care of. You take care. We'll catch you again, maybe sometime soon.